Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 2019 with the Haas career mode, and we're racing in Azerbaijan for this Grand Prix, and Baku is a wonderful city, as we're about to see as we go through the race. It's a pleasure to have you back with me. If you're enjoying the series, please do leave a like, and if you're new, why not subscribe and hit the little bell notification button, and you'll get notified every time I release a little video, which would be absolutely wonderful. The subscriber count is going up and that is good, but we are going into Baku. But before we get into the practice session, let's go and have a little old look at the R&D, because we've got some new things to do. So we did fit some new research and development components, which were both aerodynamic, so the tertiary wings and the halo, which is very nice indeed. We've only got 808 research points though, so we haven't got too much to spend, and we need to decide what to do. Now I'm thinking about some durability upgrades, because they're always useful. Make things more durable on the car so they don't run out, and they don't basically break on you mid-race. So we're looking at just going around here what we can look at. So whether we do the ICE, the turbo, the electrical system. I think if I remember rightly, we go actually for something on the powertrain, but let's wait and find out. Let's have a look at the chassis. Chassis, that's how you pronounce it. I finally got there. Chassis. Just having a look. So we've done the weight reduction central under tray. I'm pretty sure I don't decide to do anything else in the chassis. I don't. We're going to the powertrain, and we're having a look to see how it would change our. If we research the next one up, which I can't remember what it is. What is it? Ignition system for the engine power. So it costs 530. It would make us very close to Ferrari in terms of engine power. But as you can see, we are actually supposedly the fourth fastest car in the race. But if we look at the progress history, Mercedes dominating. Red Bull have just slightly overtaken in line with Ferrari, then us, and then the Racing Point cars as well. But let's dive into practice number one.
I've had a chat with Carl about the new parts, and we're happy that they've been integrated into the car okay. With any luck, you'll be able to feel the improvement, so give them a try. So
yeah, we do try out the new parts doing the track acclimatization. We're not going to see much of practice, just a quick bit around Baku, because it's a lovely course to go and see and do. Especially to race in. It's actually one of my probably favourite courses to race in the game. I'm quite fond of it. I do think I can set quite a good time around Baku, but I guess we'll have to wait and see around about qualifying.
The car's now over the line. Let's see our top three again. Vettel, Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. Sadly, it's time to say goodbye as free practice is over. However, we'll be back shortly for more Formula One action.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. It's the start of the season. How do you think things are going to go for you?
Thanks, Claire. It's been a very good start to the season, I think. Yeah, we've got a great team like this. I can't fail. Wonderful.
You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge some corners?
I don't really remember hitting too much, Claire. Maybe I'll have to watch the replays.
Appreciate your time.
So we collect some more resource points from that session. So as you can see there, it's actually the end of practice 3 we've forwarded to. So we perfected one program, we passed 3 others, did a good number of laps and participated in the session. And no real change in reputation for us at Haas, but it's going to go on to qualifying any minute now as we get a few messages from random people. So Emma telling us that if we finish above 11th we get 600 points. We've got the weather forecast, which is going to be clear throughout with a bit of overcast. And the Baku City Circuit is saying that Hamilton will probably be one of the fastest going around there, as you would expect. Let's get in to qualifying and see how we do.
Welcome to qualifying in the Republic of Azerbaijan. The teams are making their last-minute adjustments before the lights go green, and the fight for pole position can get underway. I want to talk briefly about the strategy in these qualifying sessions. Anthony Davidson, how can a driver adjust their approach to gain those critical extra tenths of a second?
Well, qualifying isn't about adjusting your approach necessarily, it's more about trying to repeat a low fuel run that you've practiced prior to this session. You're looking for perfection on the lap, and that's hard to achieve if you're trying something new. There are some variables that can stand in your way, however. Track position or unexpected yellow flags, for example. Coupled with ever-changing track conditions, it's important to be out there at the right moment. But as a driver, you have to try and ignore these distractions and just keep your mind focused on that one perfect lap.
So we do have a custom setup, because I said I do like Baku, so I do play around with the setup in the car with this sort of track, and we're looking at potentially buying some, or using some new units for this race. So the internal combustion engine, the ICE, is looking a bit worn, so I'm just considering to apply a new one, and we do. There's no penalty for it because it's before qualifying, so that's totally fine with me. And then we look at another one as well, but I can't remember which one it is. I think it might be the Energy Store or the MGU for heat. But at the moment we're definitely changing the ICE because I think that does need an upgrade. Obviously we're going to get penalties if we buy more units during the season. And there you go. So we also fit a new MGU for the heat as well. Look at everything else. Everything else seems like it's in good fashion. So that's going to help us out in qualifying. You'd imagine quite a lot getting these fresh units. I imagine the computer hasn't really updated its units since the season started. And then we've got our gearboxes for practice and the events. And both of them are looking in pretty healthy shape at the moment, so we don't need to change them so far, which is obviously very good because if you change a gearbox then it can give you a penalty as well. But let's get into one-shot qualifying and we'll see how it goes. So here we are then at qualifying for the Baku Grand Prix, and it's going to be pretty interesting. I'm confident we can set a good time here. So you go down straight into 4th, into 3rd, go round the corner and get on the accelerator straight away, really going up the gears, drop down from 5th to 2nd because you have to go quite slow around these street circuits, get over the DRS line, activate the DRS, and as you can see with that start there, we're actually up into pole position in the top left corner, as you can see, 8th then, 8th gear coming down all the way, drop to 3rd, take it quite tight on the accelerator when you can get the traction down, 4th up to 5th, then all the way down to 2nd to take a tight right hand bend, slightly right the curb, which isn't too much of an issue as you keep going forward. Then it's into a slow chicane that really slows the pace down of the track. Foot down as you go into a really tight right hand turn, which is going to take you past the castle section of Baku, which is absolutely fantastic to see. Not that we're going to see too much of it from this view because it's going to be behind us as we come round this bend. There it is on the left. As you come up the hill, you've got to slow down ever so slightly as you come around the next corner. Down to 2nd is how I take that corner. We've just dropped into 2nd place. We are setting a very good lap time here as we go round the corner really hard, like long left hand. You can keep your foot to the floor. Drop down from 8th down to 5th or 2nd or 3rd, whichever you feel more comfortable with. Go down the straight, down the hill, 6th all the way down to 3rd. Foot to the floor as soon as you're around the bend. And then you get onto the wonderful quick pace corners here at Baku as you come down the start-finish straight. As you're going to do, those corners are absolutely flat out, 193 miles an hour you exit it at. And then you come down the start-finish straight. Doesn't really where you sit on here. You open up DRS to get to around about 205 miles an hour. And then you cross at the start-finish straight in.
Excellent lap. We're really pleased.
Pole position, what a wonderful slot that is. What a wonderful race, a wonderful lap.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Wang, Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So as you can see, we just beat Lewis Hamilton for an all-British front starting places of the grid. And then you've got Grosjean all the way down in 15th at like 2.123 seconds behind us.
Right, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
Yes, we should, Jeff. So we've got another message from somebody. Pre-race, again, weather forecast, no rain is due, which is good. We haven't had a wet race yet. Let's get into the race. Here we go.
Good afternoon and welcome to Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. So let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The Baku City Circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers and is made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequences for all of our drivers. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Lando Norris. As with all the drivers at this level, they have a lot of ambition, but Formula One's a daunting step up from any other series, so expectations are high right from the start.
That's right, it is a difficult environment to come into. In junior categories, you're competing against drivers with similar levels of experience, but some of these guys in Formula One have been there for over a decade. But I have to say, in this case, it's so far so good.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Wang lines up on pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel and Gasly, Perez, Bottas, Weber and Devon Butler, Norris, Sainz, Alexander Albon and Raikkonen, Grosjean, Ricciardo, Robert Kubica and Antonio Giovinazzi. Kvyat and George Russell ends our grid lineup. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, remember to protect the inside on the run down to turn 1. Make yourself as wide as possible, robust, but
So we are going to have to try and protect that inside line as we go towards 5 red lights, and they're out and we're underway, and Hamilton gets a fantastic start here at Baku, as does Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. As we try and go around the outside, we didn't protect the inside line with bumper car with Charles Leclerc there, keeping him just there behind us, and now we've got to try and keep pace with Lewis Hamilton, which is no mean feat in this race. Around a street circuit as well, there's going to be tight places to try and overtake. But we do look like we're doing well. There's battles all the way behind us. 2 Ferraris, 2 Red Bulls battling with each other as well, as we're trying to just keep pace with Lewis Hamilton. Obviously Valtteri Bottas quite far down the order in this start as well, as we come round here and we're going to be aiming up towards the slow chicane. Now this is where we come through. Hamilton obviously takes it very well. We ride the curve a little bit more than we'd like, and down we go, down the far straight. There we are, chasing Hamilton. And it takes the slow corner. We are keeping pace with him though as we go through the castle chicane. This is really where I lose a bit of pace to the AI, but we actually navigate it quite well. Go a little bit wide on the out corner, drop down to second and get the foot down, and you can see just Hamilton pulling away as Sebastian Vettel, who has now jumped up into 3rd position, is taking us on. There's going to be a lot of this during the race.
Alright, let's focus now for the rest of the race.
A lot of management of fuel and lean mix, fuel mix and the ERS deployment. I do that manually, and we're going to have to really manage it and utilise it on the straights as best we can, as it's a bit useless round the corners as we come into the speedy corners that we can take going into the start-finish line. And there we go, as we come around the corner, you can see both Ferraris massively on the tail. They have better cars, better engines and better downforce than us, as everything, as we get Funky View riding on board, as we just about hold Sebastian Vettel off on this lap as Hamilton extends his lead. There is Vettel going for a move, and he brakes on the inside, but we managed to keep the traction down and get away from him by staying on the outside there. He had to brake hard on us, which really gave us the opportunity to get back into the lead, and this is some good battles forming. So it's Hamilton first, then us in second, Vettel, Leclerc, Gasly and Verstappen, followed up by, must be Perez in his racing point, I think, as we come into lap 3.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
As we just get a warning from Jeff about tyre grippers. Yeah,
We want to pit this lap, so push now. We're leading our teammate by 12.2 seconds.
we get a lot of information from Jeff coming through over the headset that as we start lap 4, this is our pitting in lap, so he wants us to really go for it and try and catch up Hamilton as best we can. We have got a bit of a gap between us and Vettel now, which is good, so he's not going to be in our DRS zone, which is now activated, but we aren't in Hamilton's either, as we drop down again, take the corner quite tightly in and get the foot to the floor as we come and take the tight right hander. We have to really drop down the gears quickly, keep the back end in tow, which is good, and have a quick check to see where Vettel is, and he is quite a distance behind us. Into the chicane, down to second gear to take the second corner of it, as you can hear the crowd slightly applauding as you go past, which is nice of them. As you come down this really tight right hander that puts you in towards the castle section, as we come through, obviously not matching our best time in sector 1. And sector 2 is very bendy and very narrow, and it's going to be tough to match our best
Some
time.
information on Hamilton. They seem to have an issue.
Okay, Hamilton has picked up an issue, not that you would notice it by how far he is flying ahead of us. I wonder if it's a terminal issue or if he can fix it from the car and from the garage as we take these corners very well indeed. Come up here hard on the brakes, drop down, trying not to lock up the tyres, and we don't. We go through the corner up to third, fourth, fifth, up to sixth, slowly drop it down to third as you come round the left-hand bend and then
Don't forget, box this lap.
to the start-finish straight where we're going to be boxing, and that's going to give a chance for Vettel and Leclerc and Hamilton to really put some space between us and them. Now we've got to remember that the position we want to come out, when Vettel has his pitting, we want to come out in front of Sebastian Vettel, and then it's all sort of equalise. As we come into the pits quite hot, we drop down the gears, get on the brakes and go into the pit lane. And we're hoping from a good stop from the Haas team. Come on boys, can you sort this out? As you can see, all the sort of middle teams and back markers are going to start coming through. It wouldn't surprise me if we come out towards the back. We go onto the medium compound tyres. It's a good pit stop from the boys actually. As we come out, are we going to be... There's, I think, the last three races, it looks like George Russell and maybe Kvyat in the Toro Rosso with a Renault, which would be Daniel Ricciardo or Devon Butler, I think, are the two Renault drivers. As we come out right behind Kvyat, as we come up the long straight, we do get DRS and it is open off the back of Kvyat in his Toro Rosso, obviously the junior team of the Red Bull Racing guys. As we come in, we take that a little bit too slow, that corner, not happy with that one. As we come through now, we've got to try and power through this traffic as quickly as we can, which is easier said than done in a street circuit like Baku. As we come forward now, still in last position, but we have done a pit stop and nobody else has, so you can see we're getting much better force and traction. The downforce we've got on this car after the two aero upgrades are really helping. We have a quick look to see if we can dance down Kvyat's inside at the really tight right hand, which is unnecessary. We actually hit the wall but managed to keep the car on track, and that's the problem with these street circuits. One little mistake and it can really cost you. As we take the hill corners much better, and you can see if we get our foot down now we should start gaining on Kvyat, but we can be sensible here. We can manage our ERS and our fuel consumption quite sensibly so that we can use it later on in the race after the likes of Hamilton, Vettel and Leclerc have used their pit stops. We'll come round to the left, 5 laps down. Oh, this will be starting lap 6 when we get into the start finish straight. You can see here I'm running with 0 ERS and just standard fuel mix to allow us to save it up and build it up.
Increase ERS deployment to overtake mode.
And don't worry about it, Jeff, we have got a plan from the driver's seat here, because we're not really losing pace. We're still going to be inside DRS for Kvyat as we come down into the home straight, and we're managing the ERS. I'm happy at the moment as we're going to pass a number of people in the pits here. Is it going to be Sebastian Vettel though? That is the question. Lap 6 starts. There is a Red Bull car. He's going to come out ahead of us and in front of some of the traffic as well. There's Kvyat, Russell, Ricciardo. It is Sebastian Vettel. We're going to have to see how this goes as we go for an attack on... It's a 2-1. We're 3 wide down the streets of Baku. This is absolutely mental. We put the helmet up because we've got a little bit of a hit. We go past Ricciardo as well. And are we going to get all of them? Ricciardo actually comes back with and holds on to his position. But a great move to pass the Toro Rosso of Kvyat and Russell's Williams, as now we're sitting behind Daniel Ricciardo, waiting to make a move. And are we going to do it on this straight? We're going to look for it on the outside. We're going to go hard late on the brakes, drop down the gears, and we've just nudged in front of Daniel Ricciardo. Superb bit of driving, if I do say so myself. And we stick behind Sebastian Vettel, and you'll see us now start to use our ERS and fuel mix a little bit more sensibly now. So both of them down to 1, so low ERS and lean fuel mix, saving a lot of it for later on in the race and later on this lap as we go up the Castle Hill chicane. Go round the corner, just drop down to second. As I said, that's how I prefer to take that corner. Now it's foot to the floor to try and match Sebastian Vettel, who is getting held up in a bit of traffic, which could work to our advantage. Now he's pitted, but Leclerc hasn't. I don't think Hamilton has either. You just need to be aware here. You go up the gears again as you go downhill. Drop it down to third. Vettel really up the gearbox of Kubica as he comes down, gets his forward. You'd imagine this is where Vettel will make his move.
Up again, so I expect they fix whatever the problem was.
I imagine Jeff there is talking about Lewis Hamilton, who's managed to fix whatever problem he had on the car, as we get the helicopter view to see these overtakes. Now I'd imagine that's Kubica coming in for the pits, which is why he's not going overly fast. Obviously we do have faster cars in as well, but we should get the DRS off the back of Kubica, and we do. I've got DRS open, Vettel hasn't, but Vettel manages to keep it through, keep it forward. And there is a Red Bull coming out of the pits as well, who's going to fit in behind us. And we just go right up behind Vettel, as still we're stuck behind the likes of Giovinazzi and Carlos Sainz up there as well. Giovinazzi not having a most successful season so far. He did not finish, I think, in 2 of the 4 races or 5 races that we've had so far. As we look round the outside of Sebastian Vettel and we pinch him up against the wall and get round him. Another good manoeuvre here in Baku. A very hard place to overtake, but we go wide on that corner, but just about hold Sebastian off. And we're up into 8th position, which I think puts us net 2nd at the moment if we're sitting in front of Sebastian Vettel. But obviously Vettel, Gasly, Verstappen, Leclerc all have faster cars than us, and then Hamilton and Bottas as well having the faster cars. Other than those 6, we should be the next quickest in terms of raw speed and engine power, but you can just never tell because I'm driving. As you can see, we're keeping up with Giovinazzi and Sainz, and we need them to pit and get out of the way. That would be a wonderful thing to do, if you would please, because we're coming down. We're just about to scrape the wall again, but keep our balance. We're going now, drop down the gears as we catch up to Giovinazzi. You can see the downforce that we've got from the new aero upgrades is really helping us out. We can afford to throw the car into a number of these corners, and we go through a little manoeuvre here where we're going to stay on my screen with a sort of screen view, because Sebastian Vettel is catching us as we're flying around the high-speed corners. The pressure on from Sebastian Vettel, and he's coming up behind us. He's looking down the left-hand side, and he's going to make the move. We do get DRS off the back of Giovinazzi as Grosjean's in the pits. We're trying to hold off Sebastian Vettel, and we get to the corner, and we just about hold on to that position of 5th as Leclerc comes out, is in front of us, I think, after his pits as well.
Burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon.
Jeff
Wait too long to turn the engine down.
Jeff's telling us about our fuel mix that we need to work on as we stick with the in-screen or screen-in-screen action here, because I don't think this battle with Sebastian Vettel is over just yet, as we take that corner a little bit too slow yet again. And you can see that Vettel is catching us, and it's these corners here where he really can get the power down on the Ferrari to try and get down our inside. He's happy just sitting in behind at the moment as we put our ERS deployment to medium and keep on lean fuel mix, as we don't really need to worry about it, as we open up a gap for Vettel and then close it off quite quickly as we go into the tight right-hander again round the Castle circuit. As we take that corner much better, keeping Vettel, and then I imagine it's Pierre Gasly, well, it's Pierre Gasly or Verstappen in the Red Bull behind us. Go up the Castle chicane as we come round the left-hander, go a little bit wide, but manage to get the foot down and not lose the back end, which is great. And I've just got to remember Vettel, Leclerc, Gasly and Verstappen are all going to be on fresher tyres than us, as we get a very annoyingly timed reminder from Jeff that we have 5 laps of fuel remaining when we're in this battle with Sebastian Vettel, and this is the area where he
The gap to the car ahead is 3.0 seconds.
managed to get his foot down on us and really make it a passing opportunity as we come out the high speed corners, the left and then the right again. As we throw the corner in, Vettel is lining this up. We're out of the DRS range of the car in front, which is Alexander Albon, but Vettel is going to have it on us as we come into the tight left-hander, and we manage to just get away from it as we keep going forward. We're just about keeping Sebastian Vettel at bay here as we come through. This is where he's going to get DRS on us. Is he going to have the pace to come around? So we're using our rich mix and dropping our ERS down to try and keep the advantage, and it looks like we do. And again, we come into the left-hander. We take it much better than we have done previously into a tight right-hander as we drop our fuel mix down back to standard, as this is a very tough place to do any sort of overtaking manoeuvre, so we don't have to worry about having too much pace through the car. As long as we can drive it defensively, which we are doing quite well at the moment, we can hold Sebastian Vettel off. He's definitely not going to make a move into the tight right-hander into the Castle chicane area. As we come through, take it quite well, and then we've got this really tight uphill left and then a slight right and then a left, and then you ease off and then you get your foot down again, drop a gear, come back round, and you look at Sebastian Vettel. He's all over our gearbox. In the screen picture you can see how close he is behind us as we come round under the Pirelli sponsored arena or area. And when it comes down, we take the corner well. We've got to keep the pace up. We're a bit too hot into the corner, and that's going to give Vettel a chance as we come down, and we're going to go ERS into overtake.
Seconds.
We've got fuel mix on rich, ERS into overtake. We know we don't have DRS. We know we've got to use everything in our power to stop Sebastian Vettel getting around us. I'm sure he's up to everything as well, as we get another good view in the top right showing how close this is, and Vettel is going to have DRS open. He's going to make the move. We have a quick look behind. Is he going to do it? He goes to the left, fakes to the left, goes to the right. We fall for it and he makes that move as easy as you like. We tried to get back on the inside, but just can't stick with it. And now he looks to accelerate away, and I don't think we're going to catch him. He's in a quicker car. He's got a bit of clear area in front of him. And with that we skip to lap 11, where we haven't really caught Vettel. He's still in our sights, but we're not really closing the gap. And now we've got another person to worry about in Valtteri Bottas behind us in the silver arrow of the Mercedes. And once again it's picture in picture, because it's going to be a close battle, because behind him is Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull, and they are both closing in on me very, very quickly, and they are not letting off one little bit. It's going to be one hell of a battle going into the DRS area, because I don't think we're in range of Vettel. We're not 2.7 seconds behind, and Bottas is only 0.4 seconds behind us. So Bottas is going to get DRS, which means Gasly is probably going to get it as well. And it's going to be intense, as they see in the helicopter view in the top right. And Bottas is going for the move on the left. We go to defend him, but then Gasly is coming on the right as well, and it's 3 wide down the start, finish straight of the Baku Grand Prix. We try to get a bit of slipstream off Bottas. Are we going to have enough to make the move? We dive to the inside, but lose a bit of traction on the back end, and we have to settle for sitting in 6th position behind both Bottas and Gasly. But we're going to try and go back at Bottas again, which can't get the braking area done. We sit in behind Bottas, but we'll have DRS this time. He opens his DRS on Gasly. We seem to have a bit better traction as we put our foot to the floor. We're going to try and get around Bottas. He's trying to push us into the wall. We keep our racing line and we make the move on Bottas, and next up is Pierre Gasly, but we have to carry on defending against Valtteri Bottas's DRS is drawn. We nearly go into the wall, manage just to hold it. We go a bit wide. That opens a door for Bottas, but we can't get his foot down on it enough, and we again reduce ERS to 0, go to lean rich fuel mix. Lean rich fuel mix, that doesn't make sense. We go to lean fuel mix and get our foot down, and we have to keep this gap against Bottas as we go into, I think is this the last lap? It might be the penultimate lap, it could be the last lap, as we're chasing Pierre Gasly up the castle chicane. We go to the right hand side, we just about touch the wall again, but we avoid getting any front wing damage. And Bottas is still right on our tail, as we see there. And again, we come down, take the fast turning left corners once again. Don't manage to get all the way up to 8th gear this time. We do drop down from 7th to 2nd, take that corner reasonably well, but Bottas is still on us. Have we got enough about us to stop Bottas?
Okay, gap ahead is 2.0 seconds.
On the overtake, he's going to have DRS. We're going to crank everything up right now. Standard fuel mix, we've got it into low ERS. Surely we've got more than that to deploy. As we come down the front, there we go, everything gets cranked up now. High ERS, we're on. As Bottas is right behind us. We're looking just to close off the path for him, defending it well. He's trying to make the move. He goes on the left-hand side as we enter the final lap. We brake late, so does he. Gets the inside. And is this a disaster on the last lap? Are we dropping from 5th to 6th? Can we get Bottas back? As we look up the inside, we make the move, and we get it done, and we keep the DRS because we're in the detection zone when we were behind him. As Kimi Raikkonen drops out the session with a DNF. As now we just really get our foot to the floor. You can see the car struggling to go up the gears. We go into overtake and rich mix to use everything up on this final lap to really try and keep this position from Bottas as we go into the tight right hander. We need a perfect lap here to keep Bottas behind us. He has the pace, he has a quicker car, and we're going into the slow moving chicane from the left. Round to the right, we take both corners slightly wide, we get the foot down. As you can see in the top right, Bottas right behind us again on the gearbox. I think a 5th place finish would be superb. Even though we started on pole, I would still be delighted with 5th. As we come through into the castle chicane for the last time of this Grand Prix, very close up against the barrier. We just about managed to keep it together, and here we go. This could be an area for Bottas. He knows he's got to push. He knows he's got to work hard for this. As do we, defending. This has been an absolutely intense race in this F1 season. It's only race number 5 of the season, I think maybe number 4. Losing track already as we take that corner well. Bottas, we've got a little bit of a gap now as we're starting to get the red fuel light flashing, but we're going to have enough to get around this circuit as we pull out of the final big corner. and then we take these high-speed corners. You can see we're in rich. We go up to hot lap just to make sure we use all of the remaining part of the batteries. Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix. Leclerc sets the fastest lap on the final lap of it. And we're going to secure 5th place in the Baku Grand Prix. And I am very, very happy with that. We gave that gap to Bottas so he couldn't get us back. And I am absolutely delighted.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
5th place could have been better starting on pole, but I will take that. Not the best pit strategy, but it worked out.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
So Lewis Hamilton wins another race, and it's 2 Ferraris in 2nd and 3rd. So we had that pole position. Hamilton got pole from the starting grid, just beating us off the lights very easily, and never looked back, held on to it really well. We get 5th, which I'm very, very happy about. It'll be interesting to see how Grosjean got on in the race as well. Not too sure about that at the moment.
And after this round of the World Champions look in the drivers' table, it's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to say Sebastian Vettel certainly caught my eye during today's race. Incredible driving.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Ferrari continue to extend the gap at the top of the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So Kimi Raikkonen, the only DNF. Romain Grosjean finishing in 13th, really not keeping up with our pace as we get a 5th place finish.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
It's been going very, very well. I'm really glad I can live up to their expectations, to be honest. It's lovely. Sportsmanship increased.
Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash?
I'm going to say no comment because I don't really know which crash he's talking about. I know we hit the walls a couple of times, but we didn't have a big crash. Although I go down, I do press no comment.
Well, thanks anyway.
So another race down, another rivalry win against both our rivals in this race. Very, very happy with that. Yeah, it's good. A 5th place finish. We did start on pole, so it is a little bit disappointing to drop 4 positions, but a lot of it was due to the pit stop and the strategy we went for. I can't maintain tyres quite as well as the AI, but we do get a number of R&D points, which will help us out a hell of a lot. And we get a bonus 600 as well, and we get a big reputation boost just at a perfect time, because if I know my F1 series, I'm pretty sure...
That's a great result. You did really well. I don't think we can have any complaints with that.
We are going into contract negotiation time, and you can see our value has gone up, so we can ask for a little bit of a better contract, but that's where we'll come back for the next episode. We'll be negotiating our new contract, and it's good to see that Jeff and the team were happy with that 5th place finish.